Hi guys, this is Chris with WSR Roofing. We're here today in Valley Ranch doing a survey of homes that may have been affected by the most recent hailstorm on June the 2nd. If you receive a letter from us, we ask that you please read through it carefully because your house may be one of the worst hit from this hailstorm. Once you read through the letter, we ask that you click the link below, contact us for a free, no obligation roof inspection. And remember, quality is doing the job right the first time.
Keys. And we are back to the inDmix podcast. It is Saturday, June the 5th, 2021. We have a day brunch party. Saturdays at the beautiful 5015, bar 5015 on the Alameda Strip. Got a special guest. We're doing the entrepreneurial edition of the podcast where we're going to be showcasing entrepreneurs in the city. And had to start with my man Chris Wells of Wells & Son Roofing, WSR. Y'all see him all the time. Listen, the concept of the podcast is easy. Starting off with influencers, but we're going to showcase the entrepreneurs you see in nightlife, but you need to know what they're doing, what they're into. How can it benefit you? How can we benefit them? And we help our community out in Houston. So again, to better understand the people we party with and all the endeavors that they do, hopefully betters all of us, collectively. Anyway, so I got my man Chris in the building. I just want him to talk about what he's got going on. Tell the people where you're from, for starters.
Houston, Texas, born and raised. Been all my life. Parents are from a small town in Mississippi.
Okay.
They came here after college, started a family. I ended up here. That's how we got it.
Got you. You went to school out here?
Yeah, I went to school out here. I went to a high school at Booker T. Washington. From there, I went to Prairie View A&M University. But my mom and dad, they went to Jackson State and Southern University. So
okay,
and
cool.
That's from the small town in Mississippi called Woodville. So
when last did you go? When last have you been back home in Mississippi, though?
I'm glad they had me here.
Hey, Mississippi ain't bad now. You know what I mean?
I'm glad they had me here, but
okay.
I never run from my roots, man. So
gotcha.
Humble upbringings. My parents grew up poor, didn't really have much. Dad was a nerd. He graduated college in 3 years, got his finance degree, came here to Houston and started a roofing business.
Gotcha.
So the way this came about was simply my dad did roofing with his father.
Okay.
And all of my dad's brothers, they were in the roofing business after they reached adulthood. And so my dad saw it as an opportunity to build something for his son because he didn't feel like I'd have the opportunities he had in going to a job, retiring with a pension and a 401k.
Right.
In hindsight,
nothing wrong with that, but for him, he wanted to give you something.
Something that I could always have to fall back on.
Right.
For me, I didn't know this was going to be my full-time job and profession.
Right.
But that came with the passion. So my early upbringing started me out riding in the truck with him on Saturdays, going to scope out, going door to door, doing grassroots marketing,
okay,
and hanging flyers. So when I went to Prairie View, freshman year, Dr. Baldwin's class, he gave us a project. He said, "Hey, we want you to interview a small entrepreneur."
Okay.
So quite naturally, of course, I wanted
to
interview my
pops.
Got a lot of respect for him, right? I wasn't the guy who got it out the mud. That's not my story.
Right.
So part of the project was a marketing project, and we wanted to come up with some type of literature that we can put in different homeowners' hands. So we had 16 questions and answers that we felt any homeowner should be asked on a roofing contractor before committing to a contractual agreement.
Okay.
We come up with the form. It's like a trifold little brochure type form made out of some high quality paper that at the time we were getting pressed up at Kinko's. I don't know if you remember Kinko's.
You took it back to Kinko's. I still go to Kinko's. FedEx Kinko's now, but yeah.
I got a backpack. I put 1,000 of them in a backpack. Got a Razor scooter. Went to a neighborhood that got hit by hail. Was going door to door on my Razor scooter, hanging them in the door. At the time, I wasn't experiencing door-to-door.
How long ago was this? When we talking?
This was 2000, 2001. There was a neighborhood south of Houston called Kitty Brook. It's off West Belford.
Okay.
We got one call. After that one call, domino
non-stop.
Domino
Keep going.
By the time we left that neighborhood, 6 months later, we had roofed over 60 plus houses.
Wow.
In that neighborhood.
Right.
That kind of opened my eyes as
a young so that's the origin of you seeing what the business can bring to you.
That opened
and
my
it sounds like you did it part-time. Are you doing it full-time now?
I'm doing it full-time now.
Gotcha.
At the time, I was still in school.
Right.
So it was going back and forth like, man, I see the potential this has.
Right.
Do I leave school? What do I do?
Now, I want to put this out there because I think y'all missed it. He's doing it full-time now. You went to school to PV, you had a job,
right,
and now you left that to do this full time. I don't want y'all to miss that because your passion on the side business could eventually be your full time hustle if you embrace it. Where did you work? Corporate America?
So I took a job in corporate America, didn't really like it. I'm not gonna say what job it was.
Okay, we'll leave it that. Gotcha.
But, then we had Hurricane Katrina, okay?
Gotcha.
Hurricane Katrina comes up, I'm finding different ways to make money. Now I'm just young and hungry, okay?
Right.
I'm renting dump trucks, going out there, picking up debris out of people's yards and things like that, dumping it, hauling off trees, things like that.
Right.
That wasn't my niche, though. It was a quick hustle. It wasn't until Hurricane Ike in 2008 hit Houston, that was it. That was it for me. So this is how that worked. The hurricane comes up, hits Houston, okay?
Right.
I get a call to come out to put a temporary blue tarp up. At the time, the price to put up a blue tarp was between $500, $750, okay?
Okay.
You do 6 of those in a day, okay? Those same clients that hired you to come put the tarp up are going to call you back
again
when the insurance company come out
to take it off and then repair the roof.
The whole roof.
Got you.
When that happened, it changed.
You saw a different kind of bag, a different kind of.
It was over.
And what's the average of a roofing, like complete rework or roof your roof or something?
Right now,
residential, because you do residential and commercial.
Yeah.
Right.
Right now, you're looking at between $10,000 and $12,000 for an average.
To completely redo your roof.
To completely redo your roof. You're talking about a home that's like 1,500 square feet.
Square feet, all right.
So
I just want to put that out there. It's not something that's going to happen every time, but if it does happen, understand this is what he does. This is part of why I'm trying to put this out there. Hope you never need to fix your roof. Sincerely hope you don't. But if you do, Wells & Son, got you covered. WSR, I know you guys have rebranded it, but I want to put that on their minds.
We have.
But
it started from that. Hurricane Ike, it paved the way for me. It changed my way of thinking.
Right.
Now, a humble moment. Once you roof all those houses after a major storm like that, there's nothing left to do.
Right.
You have to reinvent yourself. For me,
I
hit a slow moment.
So you fix everything, business becomes
it starts
dormant, right? There's nothing right.
I didn't know how to reinvent myself and doing other things. I was still young, maybe 25, 26. So I actually ended up taking a job working overseas. Hit a rough spot, needed some money, took the job overseas. My boy BJ, he hooked me up.
Okay.
And I get over there, I worked there for 2 years.
Afghanistan, if I'm not mistaken.
Right?
Y'all find out why I know that in a little bit, because that's how we met.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for later, right?
So I stack up my money for 2 years. I come back to the United States. The whole 2 years, I'm thinking, how can I reinvest into this business and make it something that's sustainable all year round, regardless of storms or not.
You don't need to have the storm to stay lucrative, so right? For your business to be lucrative.
It came to the marketing. So I'm pumping marketing dollars into marketing dollars, and over time, the business just started growing. Okay. Dad passed away 2019 December.
Sorry about that. I remember that.
Respect. But listen, man, I had the type of dad that you already know.
Right.
He paved the way. He really handed me the baton.
Right.
You'll never hear me say, oh, man, I got it out the mud. I got it from... No, that's not my story.
He's shown you the ropes the whole time. And upon him passing, that's a critical moment. Right. And I saw how you handled that, not just being your friend, but, you know, seeing you take that torch and take it and run. You know what I mean?
The one thing he did, if he didn't do anything else, he prepared me for his departure. Right. That's what I teach my son now. I put it in his head. Dad won't be here forever, but I can teach you how to fish.
Right.
I don't mean out in the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
I'm gonna teach you how to fish, so you won't ever go home.
Or lack. Right. Understood.
So he taught me how to fish. So when he closed his eyes in December 2019, I knew this was my time now.
Right.
I'm the man of the Wells household, the Wells family. So I put everything on my chest, I put it on my shoulders, and I got after it. So after his funeral, it was January 2nd, 3rd, 2020.
Right.
I reached out to my good friend Simone, who's sitting over here.
Shout out to Simone, who's in the building. Y'all can see her. She'll come around.
Simone said, listen, I've always waited for the moment where you're going to break out your shell and really do this thing the right way.
Right.
Simone helped me rebrand and restructure the business like it was. My dad old school. The books were a personal ledger. Okay, a notebook pad, and
this is it, right?
This is it.
He did it.
He hands it to his wife, but they never went broke. He always had bread, right?
You want to take it up a notch.
Yo, I had to get some systems in place.
Right.
So Simone, she was like, listen, let me help you with this. Never asked me for a dime. So I owe a great deal of gratitude to Simone because she helped me get this thing going.
You need people like that.
You need people like that because, you know, listen.
Who see the potential and generally want to help you do better.
She saw the potential. She helped me rebrand, come up with the acronym for WSR, which is Wells & Son Roofing.
Right.
But it appeals to more stakeholders who sit on boards at, let's say, U of H campus who are looking for a roofing contractor.
Right. They're not just looking at you as a mom and pop.
Yeah, it wasn't working for what my vision was. So
business, the entrepreneurs out there, do not forget. What am I looking at? That one. All right. Shout out to the producer. He's letting me know. That's critical. You start your business as small. You're trying to do your thing. You got to think big. What are the big corporations looking at? They're going to look at you as a small mom and pops when you're just Wells & Son.
Right.
Part of his rebranding as WSR is to take away from that. And that's the genius of Simone suggesting that. So shouts out to you. But I don't want y'all to miss that gem right there while it's happening. So
in the midst of all of that, then I'm thinking about when you rebrand something, you got to redo your whole business structure, website, business cards, T-shirts, hats, your merch, everything.
Right, merchandise. I saw you wearing the merch. That was the first thing that happened.
Right.
I saw that. When you saw last year?
Yeah, what good is the merch without the website?
Right.
What good is the website without the wrap on the vehicle? You want people to know who you are.
Right.
So, I mean, that really transcended the whole thing for me, and it kind of got my name out there a little bit more to markets. I tapped into markets that I wouldn't have. It was strategic marketing.
Name some of your clients, because you've been putting work out there. I want the people to know. You know what I mean? Man. Right now, we're bar 5015, and I know you did this joint, if I'm not mistaken.
And listen.
And talk about that, because that's crucial, because I knew you did it just out of your heart, trying to help. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, listen. This is so cool just to be sitting in this establishment.
Right.
So, real brief on the Bar 5015 project. Shout out to Steve Rogers.
Shout out to Steve.
Man, I met Steve through you.
Right.
Okay. During the Olympics and things like that. Really
out the country.
Out the country.
Way, sorry, didn't mean no cap. Just letting y'all know.
Listen, man, Steve came up. I didn't even know all the things Steve did in promotion and clubs until I saw your first podcast. I had no. Man, I'm going on trips with this guy. I had no idea.
And didn't know all the stuff
because
he was
he's
doing.
that humble, right?
Right.
So when I saw the accident that happened to this bar on the news, I'm looking at the news like everybody else.
Right.
I'm looking at the aerial view, and it just looked like the whole building was just smashed. And so the first day, it was in my gut to reach out and call him. I kept hearing a voice in my head like, you need to reach out, be of service. Right. You know this guy personally. You know how good of a person he is. He's a good businessman, obviously. Reach out to him. Just be of service, man. Be of service. See how you can get the debris away from him and like help him out. And I went against my gut. But the next day, I said, man, let me reach out to him because it just.
You didn't do it initially, but
I reached out the next day, so I hit it. It was a Saturday. I never forget. I said, yo, Steve, listen, I'm here for you. I'm sure you've had a lot of people calling you, telling you they do this, do that, they're here for you. But no, I'm really here for you. I got a truck, a trailer, a couple trailers. I got 20 men right now who'll come clean all that shit up. I'm sorry.
Right. No, you good. It's cool.
Come clean all the debris up, and man, don't worry about it. He said, nah, man, honestly, Wells, I just need a repair, a roof repair. I was like, all right, cool. Send me your address.
Right.
So Steve sends me the address to bar 5015. I'm like, what is he doing? Like, I'm thinking he's talking about his personal address. And so I called him. I'm like, Steve, you send me the address to 5015, not your house.
Right.
He said, no, Wells, that's why I need to repair it. He's like, the building is still standing. It's just the deck that was damaged. I was like, okay, cool. So immediately after my last appointment, I came straight to the bar. But when I get here, I'm looking at the debris. I'm like, okay, so the building is still good. We're just missing some windows. This is workable. Right. But I also noticed right in the front of this building, on the left and right side, there were missing pieces of shingles. Okay. So I'm like, okay.
And this would be over my head, but this is what you do. So
what I do.
You would catch all that.
Number one, it's a 3-tab, 20-year shingle. I don't install that. Like, my roofs are high-end, and either you can afford it or not, but I help you afford it. That's what I'm good at, okay?
Right.
I'm not going to put some trash up on your roof and then put my name behind it.
Gotcha.
It's a legacy attached to my name. Quality, doing the job right the first time.
Okay.
Listen, I see these holes in the roof, and I'm like, all right, Steve, listen. I can patch those holes, but I would rather take the whole thing off and just redo it and upgrade it to an architectural shingle.
And you don't have to worry about it for years to come.
You don't have to worry for years to come. And then also give your establishment some more curb appeal. So he was like, all right, cool. I'm not going to tell you what was said after that. That was between me and him. That was a personal conversation. But it was my investment into somebody that looks like me, who's a good businessman and a good person, all right?
Gotcha.
We do that. Steve's appreciative of it, you know he is, and he sends me a video showing my guys out here working on the project. I wasn't doing this for notoriety, okay?
Right, gotcha.
I was doing
that charitable out of your heart.
From my heart, I really mean that.
I commend you for that. You know what I mean?
This is the funny part, though. I come back out here and meet him. He said, hey, Wells, you do metal roofing? I'm like, yeah, we do all roofing. He said, I want you to look at the metal roof on the deck that's outside on the patio. He got his shorts. I'm like, cool. I come out, I look at that. I said, Steve, that's kind of pricey. I gave him the price. Steve didn't question it. Steve handed me a check right then. He said, let's get it done. Right. I had it done in 48 hours. That's what I do, right? We get that done. I come back. I put a ladder on the side of the building so he can walk across the top to look down on the work because I'm prideful. I'm like, I want to show
I want to show you this is what I did.
As we're walking across the top, we're like stepping in little holes from debris that landed on top of the roof.
Wow.
So at this point, I'm just like, I'm really feeling sorry that he's in this position.
In this position, right.
So he looked at me and said, we got to get it done. I said, yeah, you have to get it done. And so we worked it out. One thing I learned from Steve more than anything else, as a smart businessman, it doesn't matter how much money you make in life, it's how much you save. Because what people don't know, and I hope you don't kill me for this, Steve funded this out of his pocket before the insurance company
actually gave him back the money. Wow. So he didn't wait for insurance.
He didn't wait for insurance.
He just ran it.
He ran it.
Shouts out to Steve.
That
anybody else, right?
Listen,
and that's not a cheap. It was not a cheap job.
Man, that he instantly became my mentor in business,
right?
Because it takes a smart businessman to know rainy days may come.
But you gotta have it.
To prepare yourself for that.
For any circumstance that may come about. So a quick summary. You did the charitable effort, but the charitable effort from meeting Steve got you more jobs.
So it got me this job first.
Right.
And when it got me this job, it was a temporary cyclone fence they put around the building.
Right.
Because there was construction going on.
What's going on, right.
So I said, Steve, do you mind if I put my banner outside of your establishment?
Great marketing
He said, by all means, man, hang it up. Because at that point, we developed a nice bond, man.
Right,
He knew I was here to really help him. He appreciated it in return. As a kind gesture, he let me do that.
Right.
But he never asked me to take it down.
Wow.
So I put the banner up. This whole project got started, and this whole thing was done in 30 days.
Right.
Another thing people don't know. not only did he have the funds to do it, but the readiness, the preparedness to get it done in the amount of time
that he did it.
This was open like what?
Like a month and a half
I
after,
know,
right?
4th of July weekend, this place was open.
Right.
That's amazing.
Right.
So
I don't think a lot of people caught that, but he gets a lot of props from you.
Oh, for sure.
From having an accident like that to being ready and open, fixed under 2 months.
Under 2 months,
right.
man. So from that to your point that you made earlier, the banners around the building, definitely it brought recognition to the brand, WSR, and it was brand awareness, and people start hitting my website right off the banner.
Right.
And every time someone hit my website, I get a notification. But I got jobs from that. The one job that really broke this thing open for me was a guy by the name of Chris Lewis. He hit me up, hey man, I saw what you did to 5015. I'd like for you to come out to my family estate. We want to get our house re-roofed and we want you to do it.
Right.
Went down, met his mom, everything. Chris and I shared the same story. I didn't know he had just lost his father too and inherited the family estate.
Right.
That ended up a big project because not only did I do the roof, I did the siding, I changed all the fascia board, put new trim gutters, painted it, and put a new roof on it. That was a big project.
Big project.
But it wouldn't have happened had it not been.
Had not been for.
So what I did was call Steve up, I want to bless you. Let me come put gutters outside the
That's for free. I got you. Right.
But that's just part of the blessings from being able to work with.
But that's good business.
Yeah.
I got it from you, and I know Steve. Steve doesn't want any monetary compensation. None of that is just.
And then from that, I actually ended up roofing Steve's father's house, and that was dope because we have a relationship now. And as he,
but you see how all the olive branch extends,
right?
Just out of just doing one good deed. On no plans, no ulterior motives. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Anyway, I'm plugging my man's in. If you need your roof fix again, WSR, do not fail to hit my man's up.
Yep.
What other projects are you working on? What things are you doing?
So I just completed a Spanish tile roof. I've always done those type of projects as a subcontractor under a much larger contractor. But this time I fully funded the whole thing. And then it was like a 10,000 square foot home. I didn't know this at the time, but the house is on the same street as the Charlo brothers, the older one. He lives 3 houses down. And it was so funny because I run into him at the turkey leg hut. Shout out to Lynn.
Shout out to Lynn.
Lynn introduced me to him.
Gotcha.
And I'm saying, hey man, I just roofed the house 3 doors down from you. He said, oh yeah, that's Miss such and such house. Right. She owns this, she owns that. I know her well. And I'm like, here's my car.
A business opportunity.
Here's my card.
Right.
Outside of that, there's someone else who lives in River Oaks. I don't know how comfortable they would be with me saying their name.
Leave it
but
private. No.
I roofed their estate, and it's just been a ripple effect.
So you do everything.
Everything.
Real estate. I mean, residential, commercial. No matter the size of the home.
I've done a Shell gas station. I've done private practices. I have an open contract, pending contract right now in Dallas for a friend/client who's getting a stone-coated metal steel roof put on his house. So
it doesn't matter any kind of roof,
any
no matter
type
what,
of roofing system.
You have the job.
And this is what I learned, Ikem. You have to diversify yourself.
Right.
And in your line of work, I mean, look, you're doing podcasts now.
Right.
Before, everybody knew the guy in the club with the cameras, but you're much more than that.
Right.
You're much more than that.
I try to be.
You're humble.
I'm trying to keep up with the times, man. That's it.
And that's where I'm at.
But part of this podcast is sometimes we get lost in just nightlife. But all the people we're interacting with, we don't know all the different angles of how we can be,
Which is why I appreciate the platform.
Right.
Yeah.
So just know what people do, know people's stories, know what if it can benefit you, if there's some networking opportunity there, let's create that. Let's just put that out there.
Absolutely.
What spots, we got to talk nightlife. What spots you like hitting up in the city?
All the spots that you text me and say.
That sounds about right.
Listen, man, I don't go out like that as much anymore. I enjoy lounges. So Faces, I love that. Did you see that?
Right, yeah, he just.
man.
Faces is coming
I'm
at
going to
you.
become a member in the cigar lounge, 100%.
It's a membership
Oh
joint.
man, it's dope. Faces is really beautiful building and layout. I like that build out. But I like this spot right here, man.
Right.
I want to give back to what gave to me.
Right.
Other than this, I like Hanky and Pilot.
Shouts out to Hanky.
That's a dope
on
spot.
Fridays. Yeah. Shouts out to inDmix.
That
good,
memorial
man.
party you threw?
Dope. Props on that. Appreciate that. Hey, we just want to give the people what they want. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it.
I saw you did a charitable effort recently. I just want to put it out there that you do a lot of things. I know you don't want notoriety for it, but I thought it was dope. And I want to put it out there just because I think there might be like minds who can help with what you're doing.
Definitely, man. My sister and my father was a big giver. He always gave back. In fact, Mayor Turner came to his memorial service and presented a proclamation and named the 19th of December Calvin D. Wells Day. So
they don't do that if you're not impacting the community positively.
Listen, man.
So shouts out to
before he passed. It's back in October 2019. A guest preacher came to our church. My dad and I were sitting in the front row. We were listening, and that preacher said this quote that it just sticks to me to this day. He said, "If your presence doesn't make an impact, then your absence won't make a difference."
No.
I've repeatedly said that on different forums and platforms because it's true.
Right.
That's how you get a day named after you, okay? It's because of your presence. He made a presence within the community and within his church, within his job, and definitely within this organization. So we want to honor that on his day. We did a toy drive in his name.
Okay.
We did the toy drive at Cashmere Garden Elementary School. We were able to get back and bless every kid in that student body with 3 toys. Mayor Turner came out and he supported that. He was giving out toys. Bishop James Dixon, HISD superintendent came out, and a lot of other political leaders. Shout out to all of them. They didn't have to do that, but they wanted to support what we were doing for the community. And now, to what you just said, I didn't want to just do an annual toy drive in December and nothing else throughout the rest of the year.
You don't. So even though that's complimentary as is, that's commendable as is. You wanted to do more if you could.
50 Cent just moved to Houston and gave away $600,000 to Houston Independent School District.
Off top, right. So
I mean, I can at least give 3. I can at least give 3.
You're following your father's footsteps as a giver. I give you props on that.
Hooked up with my sister. She works within the school district. She used to be a wraparound specialist. I don't know what her specific job title is now, but I know she's still involved heavily with different schools and underserving communities. So I got with her. I said, listen, I want to do a scholarship. I have $3,000 disposable income to put toward that. Can you help me do this? She reached out to Cashmere High School, whoever her connector is there, principal, whoever. They picked the 3 most deserving students based on who has the highest GPA and other things, athletic, and what those students were doing outside of class.
So it wasn't just academic.
It wasn't just academic.
It was whatever else they were involved in. That's dope. I like the balance. That's good.
Once we identified those 3 students, we went up there and we did WSR Leaders and Learners Scholarship Fund. This is the
Repeat
first
that. Leaders and Learners
Scholarship Fund. This is what we're going to do from now on out. It won't be just Cashmere High School. I graduated from Booker T. Washington. We're going to go around the district, and we're going to do this every year. And as this grows, I want to get other small entrepreneurs, minority-owned, specifically for me, to give back to those schools that are underserved schools in the district.
Leaders and learners, entrepreneurs out there, business people out there, just anybody who's willing to engage in charitable efforts, get with my man Chris Wells.
No doubt.
I think that your venture and helping out the students, called this program called Leaders and Learners, is something that we can definitely push. You do it on your own, that's fine. If we get more people to participate, I think it helps.
I have an idea that I think you and I can do on this same platform. I would love to do like a high school entrepreneur Shark Tank.
Got you. Shark Tank. Come up with ideas.
Come up with ideas. Let these kids become more innovative in their ideas and trying to
give them a backing to develop these ideas if we can help and try to put the pieces together.
These same kids that we're investing in could be the same doctor that's performing surgery on you or one of your family members.
It's like the Shark Tank show on TV, but on a scale for
right. But make it fun.
And you'll be amazed at what you can find. There's so many brilliant minds out there.
How many kids do you know now that are on social media, TikTok, doing video. I just hired a kid to do some TikTok stuff for me.
Right.
You know, that's what they do all day. They have their phones in hand. So I want to tap into them, make them think a little harder.
We'll make that happen, man. Chris, I appreciate you, my brother.
Absolutely.
And he is my brother. Did we meet here or overseas? Once we met,
man,
we've clicked ever since.
I've always seen you around, but it was a trip to Ibiza. In 2012,
crazy. Right.
I think that's pretty much what transcended this brotherhood and this friendship
that we have now.
It was Steve Bentham who linked up with all of us.
That's right.
In Spain.
That's what I was trying to talk about earlier on how we met.
Yeah.
When you were doing your stint in Afghanistan, you took the summer trip.
Took the summer trip.
Never met Chris. Met him in Spain, South Spain, in Ibiza.
Ran into you randomly.
Randomly.
No,
right.
We can't talk about that without bringing up Europe, though. London.
Oh yeah, no, we can't. That's cool. That's funny.
But man, met you then. Been cool ever since. Listen, man, I've always admired your humbleness. You've never been the guy in the front. You've always been in the background.
I love being in the background.
I respect the way you take care of your family.
Right.
I respect your relationship with your father because it's the same as mine.
Absolutely.
And I just want you to know I appreciate your platform, you sharing that. Roofers aren't the most popular guys. We don't have the most
not,
exciting
but it's
stories.
necessary, and that's what we try to put out there for the people to know.
Then I was able to repair your roof.
Absolutely, he did. That was which storm was that?
Was that Harvey?
I think it was Harvey.
Yeah,
it was Harvey. So also did work, looked out for me like I'm a client. Listen, again, don't need you. I hope you never need to fix your roof, but if you need to, definitely consider WSR and Chris Wells and all that he does.
Let me leave you with this,
Put your social media out there, put your website out there.
No doubt.
Let the people know.
What camera am I looking at?
Which one? Right there.
At WSR Roofing on Instagram, Wells & Son Roofing on Facebook, www.wsrroofing.com. You can make an appointment right on the website. It's easy. We're insurance friendly. We do have financing available for those who qualify. But I do want to give a shout out to my guy. I'm rocking his hat right now. My boy Deshaun Bryant at Roof Hustlers. He changed the game for me right now. So I'm big on retail roofing, okay?
Right.
I've been really great at that for a long time. I met him on Instagram, okay? This brother rocks a bow tie and a polo, going from door to door selling roofs. 95% of his business comes from selling roofs, door to door
sales.
So I reached out to him, the power of social media, jumped in the inbox, bro, I don't see too many people that look like you and me doing what you're doing.
Right.
I respect it. Let's collab. Let's see how we can work together. Man, the brother reached out, gave me some pointers on the insurance game. I used that to close the deal. Then he invited me to a conference in Miami. That's this year, 2021. Right. I go to this conference. I get everything I need from the conference, minus investing into what they wanted you to pay.
What they wanted you to pay. They were trying to get.
That's
the goal of every conference. They're going to try to.
When we go in here, we're going to get the meat of it, then we're going to apply.
Take from it what you can.
We're going back to Houston.
Right.
So, look, shout out to him for introducing me, but I want to say this. After that, 2 months later, I invited him to Houston to physically show me how he does it.
Right.
He gave me a price. I paid it. He came down. We went door to door. He showed me. Today, before I came here, I'm closing out deals, going door to door. Now, keep in mind, this is
from what you learned from
what
him.
I learned from him. This is going to add an easy another $500 to $1 million in sales just learning the insurance part of it.
Right.
So listen, if you were affected by any type of storm, wind or hail, call me because your roof may end up getting paid for by the insurance company.
Insurance company.
Yeah. So
gotcha.
That's part of the game, and I got to shout him out. I think his idea, his branding is dope.
Right.
He's the guy with the bow tie, so I'm rocking his stuff today because I support that.
You got to support, man. Support us, man. not just you. You know what I mean? Well, I appreciate you coming.
No doubt.
I hope we get to chat some more.
For sure.
Let's have these dialogues as often as we can.
Man, listen, start
biannually
interviewing
or
more
annually.
entrepreneurs, man, because you never know who needs what service.
You're the first entrepreneur I'm interviewing, not just influencers. So,
Respect.
hey,
Respect.
shouts out to you on that. Shouts out to your team. Come on around. Tell the people. Show your face. That's Carmen right there. Just say hi. Let them know what you're doing.
inDmix podcast. It is Simone Adrian. Look, I guess you can say I'm the brains behind all of the amazing branding that you see happening.
Give it up.
I take the strategy, I take the process, I implement, we make it happen in real life. So I'm excited just to see the growth, and I'm happy to be here. So
Done deal. We appreciate
You want to give
Shout
your
out.
social media handle?
absolutely, you guys can follow me at it's Simone.Adrian on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. And my company is the Emerson Group Consulting. We do everything, all of the creative.
So you help companies rebrand, get started.
Strategic marketing,
Listen,
advertising campaigns.
I'm never going to come on any platform and just throw numbers out there, but I will tell you this.
Okay.
From 2020 to 2021, she almost tripled what we did prior to that.
Wow.
That's real.